What's going on, everybody? So today I want to talk about acquiring more upgrade materials. Now, there's a few reasons for this. Obviously, we are reaching the higher Paragon levels. I myself am trying to go ahead and continue to grind the game so that I can increase my Paragon level, because I have been kind of slacking a little bit here because I had some other projects going on, but I have been able to jump into the game a little bit more. But when we're talking about upgrade materials, I made a video about this a little while ago. However, some of the things have changed and some of the things have stayed the same. So I figured I'd update it, especially since a lot of people are reaching the point where they need these upgrade materials, including myself. So let's get into it. All right, so what has changed realistically? Well, first off, we're actually getting to the close part of upgrading all of our secondary pieces to max rank, which means that we no longer need to kind of focus on challenge rifts at all, or combat rating for the most part. In that case, if you're going to max out your challenge rifts. Now, we're still about a month away, in my opinion. I could probably grind, if I spent the next 2-3 days grinding 8 hours a day, I could probably finish off my challenge rift, assuming I don't get insanely unlucky with the gear, because I actually have quite a few upgrades to make. But if you're someone that's free to play, you probably have another month of challenge rift grinding to go for, and then you're going to be able to max out your enigmatic crystals, which means you don't need to do any of the, basic material kind of transferring or material conversion. None of this was actually a good material conversion anyways. The enigmatic crystals were just trash when it came to converting 4K scrap for one crystal. It's actually ridiculous. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that we're reaching a point where we are able to upgrade our gear pieces to insane levels. You can see a lot of people are actually reaching 360. You can see I'm at 340, or it's 348 for me on this server. I'm about 14 levels behind. I'm playing and grinding a ton today, so we can go ahead and increase that server Paragon level, or Paragon level for us. And so we're actually reaching 360 quite quickly. And on top of that, there's a lot of people that don't even have their rank 19 upgrades, or people that don't even have their earlier upgrades, like rank 12, rank 13, because they may have started the game a lot later than us. So even the people that have been grinding, like myself, that grinded for significant amounts of time, you are still reaching the point where you are running out of materials. So there's a couple strategies here that I want to talk about. And on top of all that, there's another crunch on sort of materials here, and that is going to be the Fabled Wisps and crafting, set crafting, specifically for your oh my goodness, I forgot what these are called. The glowing shards. I have a ton of them. The thing I'm missing out on is enchanted dust and scrap material. If you do not have high magic find, you may be missing out on a lot of glowing shards. So with all of that in kind of our heads, we're going to jump over to the first thing that I'd recommend changing, and that is going to be your auto pickup. So normally I keep magic and rare items only on, but you're going to want to increase your normal auto pickup on, because what happens is when you're running around the map and you're going to pick up items, picking up only magic and rare items makes you salvage less, but and focus on like the actual legendary item grind and your set item grind, and you might waste 20-30 seconds every few minutes. That starts to add up if you only care about legendaries or set items. However, now that we focus on upgrade materials, we really want to go ahead and hammer home getting a bunch of scrap material for our upgrades, which we can convert into enchanted dust here with the swift smithing material. So that's the first thing. Do that before anything else. Along with that, highly recommend running Treasure Hunter. Treasure Hunter is going to be incredibly important for you guys to increase not only our XP for grinding, our gold for future updates, but also our actually increased equipment drop rate by 75% from elite monsters in outdoor areas. This is going to increase the amount of dust you get, the amount of legendaries you get, and the amount of scrap you get. So very, very important you do that. Along with that, I also recommend that you run Treasure Hunter or a Vanquisher here, and you put points in to get deeper pockets. If we're looking for items and looting items, deeper pockets actually going to increase the amount we can actually acquire in every inventory. Do not underestimate this, guys. If you are free to play or you have not bought in the boon, you can see here you're missing out on 6 rows. You get half that back by running Vanquisher, which is a massive, massive deal. And something that you should definitely go ahead and pick up, just so that your farming is significantly easier and you're able to go ahead and not have to salvage all the time and waste a bunch of time doing that. So I'm putting points into Vanquisher right now to go ahead and pick up that deeper pockets myself, and I'm about 4 or 5 levels away from getting it. You can get 3 additional inventory rows from this point right here. So super advised that you get that. Now that we talked about all the the things that we're looking for and the things that we should do before we even start farming, let's go over some actual farming places, as well as some really, really great things to go ahead and get some free upgrade materials. First things first, just do your challenge rifts. If you haven't done your challenge rifts already, this is going to be a really easy source of legendary items, a bunch of gear, and you don't really have to loot. You just beat the challenge rift real quick, and then you're able to go out and just get the loot sent to your mail. And you can oftentimes, if you have someone that is a whale on the server, which a lot of people do, could just type in world chat, hey, does someone mind running a challenge rift 190 with me? And then you could actually do 5 at a time, which is a really, really quick source of easy upgrade materials. And I'd recommend everyone do this real quick for you guys to get just some very, very quick upgrade materials. Second thing is going into the library of Zoltan Cool. Now, I went over this previously in a previous video, kind of just talking about it, but I want to show it for you guys here. Hopefully I have a couple of scrolls available to me. This might be a little bit awkward for me if I don't have any available, but regardless, there's a couple of spots in here that are really, really good for upgrade materials, and I definitely recommend some of you take advantage of those if you have not already, and they are definitely some good spots. You can see on the left-hand side, I have a couple of tomes. I have 4 specifically. You can't really use these as a group unless you all want to go ahead and use a tome. So you all have to have a tome if you all want to go ahead and go into the chamber. But these chambers are exceptionally, exceptionally good. Keep in mind, you're only going to want to use about 13 per day. And you're going to want to go in and just kill off all of these boxes around the map. And then oftentimes there's going to be some monsters to kill. So you're going to want to kill those monsters, blow up the boxes, and you'll see as we're going through, there's just a lot of gold that drops, there's a lot of monsters to kill, and there's a lot of dust that drops. You can actually just see the amount of dust that I'm acquiring right here. And that's pretty much the whole strat right here. You just literally run around, kill off all the creatures. The chamber is completed. Some give you more dust than others, and some are worse than others. So you have to get lucky with that. That's going to be your first one. Definitely want to go ahead and cash in on your tombs. Tomes here, you could easily do this in combination with a couple of farming methods like this 4-corner farming spot. There's also a couple of farming spots where you can just go around the whole room and kill off all the monsters there. Even the hidden alcove is still not bad if you could find a place where not a lot of people are actually at. All right. The second, or the third one rather, is going to be the frozen tundra. Now, this is one that I really, really like, especially for scrap and dust specifically. That is going to be a major, major way to go ahead and basically progress your upgrade with this event in frozen tundra. Look, the Call to the Ancients is actually active right now, and we're going to head over there and see what's going on. So the Call to the Ancients is basically a thing where you farm on this map, you get progression towards the event, and then the event pops, and you go to it, and there's a bunch of monsters that spawn, and they drop a bunch of relics, as well as just a bunch of gear, and then you can turn in those relics at the end of it to get a bunch of gear for you to salvage, which is a really, really nice feature. So you can see here, it looks like it's still active here, which is perfect. So glad that it's active when I'm doing this video. It makes it so much easier for me. But you can see here, basically, we just go around, follow the ancient spirit, kill off all of these random creatures, and you're very likely to go ahead and get some ancestral relics as well as random gear pieces that drop from this area. Super, super important that you go ahead and do this, because if you want at least upgrade materials, because it's going to be a massive, massive increase in terms of gear received, and just overall, it's actually a decent event for XP as well. It's not like you're just not doing anything during this event. It's actually quite solid, to be honest. There's an ancestral relic. And yeah, it's going to continue going onwards. I imagine it's going to last for a couple more minutes until we reach the finishing point, which is going to be over here. But basically, you could turn in these relics on the left-hand side for gear and things like that, which are going to be, again, a massive way to increase your upgrade material storage. So super, super nice event. And you can see, looks like there's a gigantic amount of monsters that just spawn, dropping a bunch of relics, and we can turn in all those at the event. So do this one, really nice one for you guys to do. Next one up, and this is probably the last one for the video, which kind of hits all the points, right? Library for dust, frozen tundra for scrap and a little bit of dust, and then Realm of Damnation for legendary items specifically. You still get a lot of basic dust and rare items and common items, but if you're going to run the Plains of Torment farm, do not activate the auto pickup for white items. The reason for this is, if you do this, you're going to be salvaging so often because you clear things so fast. You want to focus on legendary items for this. This is mainly for your glowing shards, and I think a lot of you are actually running out of them because you're going to be crafting your set items, which means every single time you craft a set item, that's another legendary item that's basically down the drain, or in terms of just crafting it back into a set item. So definitely cash in on your legendary items here. It's going to be a lot of really, really amazing legendary farm or legendaries to be had over here in the Plains of Torment. For those of you that haven't done this farm, you're going to run into an oval here and just kill off all the monsters, and you're going to get a ton of legendary items. This is the biggest amount of legendary item drops that I've seen in any farm location that I've ever showcased. The only one that's comparable and is honestly equal is going to be this massive farm at the Hall of Punishment, but this one takes some time to get it used to, because you have to go ahead and just like basically skirt around the entire map, which can be a little bit complicated for some people to kind of get the hang of. So definitely going to want to pick up as many upgrade materials as possible and legendary items as possible. So hopefully this, guys, gives you some help on getting some upgrade materials. Remember, each time you get an upgrade, it's going to be an additional 8 combat rating across the board. If you're lower, it's going to be less in terms of upgrades. So that's going to be an additional 6 times 8, 48 combat rating, which means we're missing out on about 100 combat rating, at least for me right now, that I could be getting just from farming upgrade materials. So be sure to do this. You're going to be able to be prepared for this update coming up, and we're going to be set to go when that drops. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully this gives you guys another avenue of farming all these items. If you have not seen these farms before, if you have, well, there you go. You got them again, because, well, there are a lot of new players to the game, and I wanted to inform you all that might be newer to the game about some of the farm locations that I might have already gone over in some previous videos. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like the video, sub to the channel, and I will see you all tomorrow.